It's morning and this is the beautiful township of Metung. Okay, a couple of videos on the mighty Gippsland Lakes. Now, just to let you know where it is on a global level, if we drew the perfect circle for the world and drew an equator, Australia's in the southern hemisphere. That's the shape of Australia. Indonesia's up here, and India over here, Russia, China over there. So in Australia, we're in the southeastern corner, which is this point here. So if we transfer that over to this map here, it's this section of the coastline here. Melbourne's over here, Sydney that way, and there's a series of lakes here called the Gippsland Lakes. Lakes Entrance is the main port, and then we've got Lake King with the main town in there called Metung, and then you got Lake Victoria and Lake King together, and then there's Paynesville there, Loch Sport, and then a big lake called Lake Wellington, which is also very shallow, runs to sail. The next map is a bit more in detail. The entrance here was built and pushed through the sand dunes. It was a very unreliable entrance back in the day, and there's a couple of really awesome photos of that I'll show you. And they built this magnificent entrance, and which is kept now for the fishing fleet in there, open with a dredge called the Tommy Norton. Yeah, then you can see the rest of the lake system is here, and they used to ship goods through all these straits. That McLennan Strait there is man-made, and then up to the Latrobe River to sail. Back in the days when transporting goods to these areas was better done by the sea. So I hope you enjoy the few videos that I'm going to make of the beautiful Gippsland Lakes. Yeah, this is Chinaman's Creek, just around the corner from Metung, and it's the boat rental place. We'll call this fella here Hugo the Cormorant. He's got himself a rather large spiky fish. The tailor are in Chinaman's Creek, and all the cormorants are here waiting for them to raise their head again. So there's a school of little fish in here, and the tailor, or skipjacks, are chasing the little fish, and the cormorants are chasing the little fish as well. It's that time of year. There's just hundreds of them. You have a look at there, just over there. There's just hundreds of them. They're everywhere. They're all just waiting for the next rising. Coots and grebes, crabs on their back, and that's what this little water rat likes to eat. It's a white-tailed water rat, but they renamed him Rakali so that people would look at him more positively and not think of him as a rat.
You probably can't hear that on the footage, but it's like this little chopping noise as his bills clack together.
An unusual animal here, they're called sea hares, and jellyfish polyps that only come out once every so often. Yeah, we're just sailing at about 5 knots, heading towards the Tambo River entrance, which is fairly shallow either side, and it may even be too rough to go in there today, but I'll go and have a look and turn around if it is too rough. So this is the Tambo River. It's one of the 5 major rivers that run into the Gippsland Lakes. It's pretty open. It's about 80 metres wide most of the way. Yeah, we've got all the 3 points on our anchor. We've got one for the bank, wrapped up behind a tree with a sand anchor into the ground. And we got one out the back there. I took out with the dinghy about that angle. Can you see? That's pretty tight. And chose that one. That one's just holding me in to the bank, otherwise I'd be almost out in the middle. And the front one's a bit of a worry because I reckon it's snagged on something. It's going straight down, but there's 20 metres of rope out, and we're only in 3 metres of water, so it should be sitting at an angle like that sort of thing. So I reckon it's snagged on something. Maybe it's caught between a rock. Chain into rock is really shit. So you got a lot of this quarry rock on the side that they've dumped in at some point, probably back in the early days, to keep those banks from eroding. And when they use the river a lot more, because there's a place upstream called Mossaface. There used to be a port as well, which is there's not even enough water there to take a boat now. So it must have silted all over, and they didn't bother doing anything because it was not being used. But yeah, I think all this quarry rock's been put in here. I don't know how long ago, for what purpose, but I just imagine it might have been back then just to keep everything more open. The Tambo River, one evening in all its glory. The many jetties that have been let go. The crested grebe, extremely beautiful bird I find. Here we are at Bungaram. This is an absolute beautiful place, and this is a picture along the 90 Mile beach all the way down towards Lake's entrance there. That goes back over towards Metung, and then we go back towards Lake Wellington the other way.
Bit big for the little shag.
Here's Hugo again, he's still trying on that fish. This is Bungaram, the toucan 2 there in the picture now, and in the foreground is a pelican rookery. These like pelicans here, like the proud fathers of the chicks that have been born here on this island near Dog Point in Bungaram. You can see the little fellas there, they're looking like birds definitely. The little stubby wings and short plumage. So from Bungaram, where the little pelicans were, you sailed down through Lake Victoria and then through McLennan Straits, where this footage has been taken. McLennan Strait connects Lake Victoria and Lake Wellington, Lake Wellington being the biggest but also the shallowest of the lakes, and it connects from there through the Latrobe River to Sale, which then they supplied the more inland areas with goods, and also took their produce back, like wool and things, whatever they produced on the land, back to Melbourne. McLennan Strait, as you can see, is also been enhanced for shipping from, in the early days, through, you know, dredging it and shoring the banks up and things like that. But these days it's not used in such a commercial purpose, so there's not much gets done to it now, but back in the day it did. And you can just see by the straightness of that, you could sort of see that that's a bit man-made. Here we go again, take off from Lake Wellington. Absolutely mirror day. The lake is like a mirror. Even so, it's so calm. It's got like about 1.5 knots of current going through it. But have a look at that, just the clouds are mirrored up on the water. One end's like McLennan Strait that connects it to Lake Victoria. The other end is Latrobe River, which we're going to go down, and that connects it to Sale. So from Lake Wellington, we're just started to enter the Latrobe River with all its beautiful dead ghost trees on the side. The river's got quite a few snags in it further up. We only went up about 10k and then put the anchor down and took the tinny up to the swing bridge that was built years ago. It's no longer operational, but it works. So this is it here. We just had the tinny and had a good look at it, and a little bit further on is Sale. Well, we didn't go up there either, so this is just the big center section, and it just pivots on that big central tower, and then you've got the bridge facing parallel in the middle of the river with the river, so that boats can get either side. So yeah, that's about the end of this video, and hope it wasn't too long for you, and get a bit of an idea what the Gippsland Lakes were. I certainly enjoyed my time here. So we'll see you later.